bakithi. Ungangihlekisi. yeah, 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 yeah. 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, yeah. 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2.
Testing. Testing, testing. Good morning. Welcome to the MICT SETA SDF Capacity Building Workshop for Gauteng. Can I test if the people online can hear me? Can somebody online just indicate if they can hear us? All right. A very warm welcome to all of you. This is our SDF Capacity Building Workshop. As you know, we are all here preparing for the WSP ATR submission period, which is due at the end of April 2025. Before maybe I go into the details of the meeting, let me just establish house rules as well with the people that are online. Welcome to the people who are online on Teams. Welcome to the MICT SETA Gauteng SDF Workshop. You're welcome. Please keep your mics muted. You're also welcome to ask your questions on the chat box. There's always somebody who will respond to your questions as the session goes on. Even the people in the room, you're welcome to write down your questions in the chat box. I have a team here that will actually answer those. Before I forget, my name is Bontle Mugwena. I'm the Senior Manager, Sector Skills Planning at MICT SETA. Once again, a very warm welcome to you. Before I get into the presentation, I just want to make one announcement in terms of the WSP ATR 2024 submissions. We're sitting on about 58 queries, meaning that these WSP ATRs have not been approved yet because there is outstanding documentation. So please, I urge you to check your inboxes, check your spam, because we would have communicated with you since August, but there seems to be people who have not responded to our request to furnish information, or if you know that your WSP ATR has not been approved yet, you did not get a decline letter, or you have not received your first tranche payment, you could be one of the people that are having this problem. I urge you to check your emails and give us the required details, because you will not get any money if you have not submitted beyond the end of March. Also to remind you that we don't even have to follow up with our stakeholders on that matter, because we expect the submissions that are made to be accurate. However, because we are not punitive, we allow you to submit. However, it has taken long now. It's about 9 months later. We still have not received the required documentation. I think it's not fair on the team as well to be following up as we prepare for the new submission period. So should you not submit the outstanding documentation, you will forfeit your mandatory grant. That money will go into the DG grant. Also, another announcement, we've had a system glitch with DHET in terms of mandatory payments. I'm not sure if any of you have experienced that or you've noted, but there hasn't been payment for tranche 2 because of a system glitch at DHET, which we don't have control over. So unfortunately, there hasn't been payment for tranche 2 and tranche 3. But as far as I know, DHET is attending to it. It's outside of our control. Unfortunately, because we rely on the levy file from SARS, which goes through DHET, that SARS levy file lets us know who have updated levy payments. As you know, one of the requirements for mandatory grant payment is that you have to have up-to-date levy payments. So that 1% that goes off from your payroll must always be up-to-date. So we need to make sure of that. So that's why we are not able to. It's also against the grant regulations for us to pay you without making sure that your levy payments are up to date. I think that's where I want to start. So welcome. I don't think my presentation will be long. I'm just here to remind you of the requirements. Also to welcome those SDFs that are new to the MICT SETA. They might actually get more value from this workshop than any other SDF who's already with MICT SETA, as they're engaging with us for the first time, and also as they're using the LMS for the first time. So I will do the presentation, take you through the requirements and everything that I need to inform you about. And after that, we'll have our ICT team. We have Timothy there on my left. He's from our IT department. He will take you through the SDF registration, and he will take you through the Annexure 2 or the WSP ATR form and show you how you work around it until your submission. Okay, there's a delay between the pointer and myself. Okay, that's the presentation outline. As I've indicated, I'll just briefly touch on the mandate of the SETA, WSP ATR processes, sector skills plan. That's where we indicate how we use the WSP ATR data that you submit to us. I'll briefly touch on the OFO, the Organizing Framework for Occupations, and I'll let our IT team take us through the SDF registration demonstration and also the WSP ATR submission demonstration. You're welcome to ask any questions. You're also welcome to type in your question in the chat, and that will be the end of the session. I was pointing the screen. So this is briefly the mandate of the SETA. MICT SETA is one of the 21 sector education and training authorities. We are in the business of ICT, electronics, advertising, film, and media. So I take it as you're sitting here, you belong to one of those 5 subsectors in terms of the SIG code that the company you represent would belong to. So our mandate derives from the Skills Development Act, and we also provide training, or we support training in the country, specifically within the MICT sector, which are those 5 sectors listed there. So the purpose why we need the WSP ATR or the workplace skills plan is to allow us on our side to be able to plan for the sector in terms of skills needs. So you as employers allow us to do that with the information that you give us. I would like to also say that we rely heavily on that information because we take it that it comes from the employers at the root level, at the 6-digit level. So when I say the 6-digit level, I mean at an employee level. So all the employees that are within your companies, when you complete the WSP ATR, you capture each individual. So we're able to craft a sector profile from that. So you as the employers, the incentive is to claim the 20% back to give us that information, which we regard as the sector intelligence. So that information is critical for us because we are able to know how the sector looks in terms of sector profile, age, geographic location, employers, employees, where they are, skills levels in terms of NQF levels, skills levels as well in terms of the OFO. We are able to also see what is it that you say it's skills needs or those hard to fill vacancies or those vacancies that take long to fill. So that information becomes critical for us to understand where the interventions need to come from. However, we don't use the WSP ATR only as our only source of data. We use other methods in terms of our sector skills plan. If you've engaged with a sector skills plan, you'll actually read it through. It's from chapter 1 to chapter 6. It indicates the sector profile. If you take the time to read it, it will explain how the sector looks like, where the skills needs are, etc., etc. Then we have the annual training report, which is a report from a previous year's training of the WSP ATR that we would have submitted. In this case, it will be the 2024 WSP ATR that we would have submitted. We also look through that as part of our assessment of the WSP ATR application that we submit to us. We also have the pivotal training plan. And, you know, pivotal is very critical. It's part of formalizing qualifications in the sector. We actually have a set budget for pivotal because we take it that seriously. Also in terms of SAQA and DHET, it's the mandate that we need to formalize qualifications. And you also know in terms of E2QA, we need to create articulation routes for all the different employees within your organizations. So the pivotal training plan is important. If you're going to train on pivotal, we also like to have the pivotal training report. So those are the components of the WSP ATR, just as a reminder, it's due at the end of April every year. So that's just the trend analysis of the previous 5 years in terms of the WSP ATR submissions that we have received from the sector. Last year was our highest submission rate with 1,950. That's also sufficient in terms of the stakeholders in the sector, as we use research method to make sure that what we analyze and what we come up from that number of submissions reflects the sector in terms of research principles. And Gauteng still remains our biggest province, with 64% of submissions coming from this province. You would have noted that for the 3 top provinces, which is KZN, Gauteng, and Western Cape, we actually go there physically because that's where most of our stakeholders are, and we believe that there's value in actually having a physical interaction. So even at the end of the session, we have the team here. If there's anything you need to ask, we're here to assist you. So that is the trend, and I think we appreciate that the number has gone high. It also means that we have more employers now who are interested in submitting the WSP ATR. We also know that the ICT sector has also grown, because this is where we see most of the growth, even though other sectors have also grown with a little bit of shrinkage. If you read the SSP, you'll actually get that data from there. So in terms of what are requirements for you, or what qualifies you to submit a WSP ATR, is, you need to have annual turnover of 500,000 and above. However, if you don't have 500,000 and above, you're still allowed to submit a WSP ATR. We have a system where we are able to issue with an SDL number. We encourage this because we want to have as many submissions as possible from all our employers, so we understand their skills needs. We also understand that not all the small businesses will remain below 500,000. At some point, they will go up. So we encourage that as much as we encourage entrepreneurship in the sector. That's one of our focus areas. So even if you're below the 500,000 threshold and you're not paying a levy, you are encouraged to submit a WSP ATR. That also allows you access into the DG grant, meaning that when a discretionary grant window opens, you will be considered because you also have an SDL number and you have submitted a WSP ATR. So that's also part of how the SETA incentivizes the stakeholders. So another critical requirement is that your levy payments must be up to date all the time. So even when we do the tranche payments, once your plan has been approved, our finance department will always check. And the other reason that we go back as well, requiring further information, it might be that the banking details you submitted, payment does not go through, so have to come back to you and request banking details, etc. So that is also part of the reason that we would want to come back to you and ask for extra information. So submitting a WSP ATR allows you to actually claim the 20% mandatory grant. However, you also need to employ an SDF within an organization who will complete the WSP ATR on behalf of the company. The applications are due at the end of April. Should you require an extension, you need to submit an application or a request for an extension before the due date. However, there's no guarantee that your extension will be granted. There must be compelling reasons why you're requesting for an extension. As we've indicated, you need to submit a formal letter with the company's letterhead. That letter must not be signed by the SDF. It must be signed by the person who authorizes the WSP ATR within organization. So that could be the head of corporate services or whoever is delegated to sign the WSP ATR. With that letter, we also need supporting documentation. You will not get immediate answer in terms of if your extension request has been granted or not. Those requests go to our board. It's not my decision. It's not the CEO's decision, but we would recommend to the board for approval. So it's up to the board for us to present the information to them, and they will indicate if they will. So in that meantime, while we're waiting for the approval, it means that the system will be locked. You won't be able to work on the system. However, once the approval has been granted, we will open the system for a period of 30 days to allow you to complete the WSP ATR. We always discourage extensions because one of the reasons that we avoid extension is that we open our system early in December. So as you would be aware, our system has been open since the second week of December to allow you to start working on the WSP ATR. We also know that there are SDFs, external SDFs, who work for more than a company. They will need that ample time to start working on their submissions. So we have actually made room for everybody to be able to have enough time to submit their WSP ATR. And please don't submit in the last minute. If you submit at the last minute and you say that the MICT system was offline, our IT team actually does the check to see if the system was offline. If we find that there was no system glitch on our side, which could have been on your side, the extension will not be granted. So we discourage submissions that are close to midnight to avoid any of those issues. So in terms of the Annexure 2 form, which is still the WSP ATR, in terms of the authorization form, it must be signed by the people that has been listed there, or for example, if you have 50 employees or below, you don't need to have a labor union. However, if your employees are 50 and above, there must be labor union representative, meaning that the labor union representative signature must be signed. If you do not have a labor union active within your company, even though you employ 50 or more people, you need to write a letter with your submission that you don't have an active labor union. However, you need to have an established training committee or a skills development committee. This is also in terms of the skills accord that was agreed upon between the different parties at NEDLEC to say that workplace skills plan must be consulted with employees. And as we know, employee representatives are labor unions in companies, so that's the critical point. So in terms of that aspect, we will also require the training committee minutes that should be signed. They should be signed by the chairperson of that committee. We do read the minutes to see that if this WSP ATR was agreed upon, if it was consulted. Please submit all the training committee minutes that would have discussed your WSP ATR submission for 2025. However many the meetings you would have had, so because we would like to see that. So that's part of the requirements that we need. You'll see that in the system it's also built in. I think we have been lenient in the past, but if you read the SDL and the mandatory grants, it requires that there must be a training committee in place for us to actually approve a WSP ATR. So we will be looking at that, so please take note of that. I've touched on the extension and the closing date. It must be on the company letterhead, and there must be evidence provided. So in terms of how we use your data, why we need the information, so as I have indicated, this is for us, this is part of our research process. So this is the data that we receive from you at a 6-digit level, meaning at employee level. We use this data as part of our SSP research. So once this data is submitted, we aggregate it, we analyze it. It can give us all sorts of information. We know how many people are in the sector. It's not only based on the WSP ATR information, it's also from the SARS file, because SARS captures all the information that belongs within our 5 subsectors. So we know that information as well from there, so we're able to profile the sector. We're able to profile in terms of age, race, skills, geographic location, skills needs, etc., etc. So this information becomes an indicator for us in terms of where the sector is in terms of skills needs and where the shortages are. It also triggers qualification development. Should there be a skills needs for a particular program or qualification that we currently don't have, so our ETQA is actually triggered to actually start consulting on that and start working on it. Some of you have consulted with our ETQA in terms of your qualification or program needs that we may not necessarily have at the moment that we'd like to see. So it's also triggered from this process that we do in terms of research. in terms of employment profile, identifying skills gaps, also focusing for future skills. We also do international comparison with other economies in terms of skills needs and what we could need for the future that we might not have at the moment. So it allows us to focus and plan for those skills that we may not have or that we may need in the future. It also allows us to engage with you and understand our employers in terms of the submissions that you make. It also allows us to see if there has been any movement in transformation. As we know, the SETA's mandate is skills development, so we are able to see if there is any move. So we're able to see that through the analysis of the OFO, which I'll touch on. So we're able to profile the different occupational categories. So we do that for the sector. So we're able to tell how many people are sitting at the lowest, at the mid, or at the top. We're able to see what race, what age, what gender, and disability, etc. So the information is important for us, and that's how we use it. So this is the SSP process with the WSP ATR as one of the data components. So we'll normally review our current SSP to identify gaps and also analyze the data that would have received from us. We do desktop research. We also have our own research agenda within the SETA. So we do research studies every year that supports the SSP. So from those research outcomes, also from research that we do, or literature reviews and desktop review, we are able to gather information around what's going on in the sector. We do surveys, we do interviews. As you know, there's a built-in survey within the WSP ATR form that we require to complete every year. Should there be a need to ask any further questions, we normally build that into the WSP ATR. So it is mandatory for you to complete the survey, otherwise you won't be able to submit the ATR and the WSP. And then we have focus groups. Some of you would have been invited to the focus groups. So the purpose of focus groups is also to triangulate and check if what we have received from the sector you agree with, does it make sense, is in line with what's currently happening. We also take our SSP through different professional bodies within our sector who review it or peer review it and give us feedback in terms of it being aligned to the mandate of the SETA and what's actually occurring currently. And the other thing that I'd like to say is that in terms of the feedback that we got from AGSA, that's the external auditor, they have indicated that we have trained some programs that are not within our sector. So going forward, we should strictly be training on MICT related occupation or programs. So unfortunately, if you submit a program that is not necessarily within our mandate in terms of the mandate of the 5 subsectors, it might not be approved in that sense because our focus should be on that. Should we continue doing that, then we get audit findings which affect our audit outcome. So I said I will briefly touch on the OFO, which is the Organising Framework for Occupations. So as you know, the OFO, you've engaged with it. So the OFO groups occupations. As you know, we have a job and we have an occupation. So a job is a set of duties and tasks as opposed to an occupation. So the OFO is actually grouping the different occupations that are linked to jobs. So these jobs are normally similar, they're not different, but we might be using different job titles. So it's not about the job title, it's about the occupation. What is it that is in line with the title, with the job? So the Organising Framework is a classification system used primarily in South Africa to categorize and classify occupations in the labor market. This is a system we developed from New Zealand and Australia, and we use it in South Africa to reduce the number of job titles as opposed to occupations. So we're using occupations as opposed to jobs. So with the occupation, you'll see that there's one occupation linked to different jobs or job titles. So as I've said, a job is a set of tasks and duties carried out by one person for a particular employer, which has a job description, as opposed to an occupation. Occupation is a set of jobs, tasks and duties characterized by a high degree of similarity within occupations, which also has specializations. So as you would have played around the OFO, you know that the OFO also have one main occupation and there are specializations linked to it. These specializations, it depends what you focus in, but the main, if you're a doctor, you can specialize in other areas of medicine, but the main occupation is medical doctor, as an example. So that's the whole point of the OFO. If the job is secretary, some people are PAs, they're admin assistants, but they're doing the same or similar tasks, but with different job titles. So the reason for having the OFO is also to reduce salary discrepancies. If I belong to one occupation, then there shouldn't be salary discrepancies. So you find that you're doing a similar job, but because of the title, your salary might be higher on the other, or the other one is lower than yours. So the OFO is categorized in terms of the 8 occupational categories, the highest being the managers, which includes MDs and CEOs, with the lowest being elementary workers. Elementary workers are normally at the lowest on the NQF level. These are people who normally are at the ABT level or AET level, and managers are those at the highest NQF level, 7, 8, 9 and above. We also have professionals in the sector. If you read through our SSP, you'll notice that most of the MICT sector belong within professionals, technicians, and associate professionals. So that also already tells us that is a highly skilled workforce. So also in terms of the occupational, the interventions that we should develop, we should be able to cater for this type of workforce. So the analysis of the WSP ATR also allows us to have this understanding. So that's the OFO at a high level. And then in terms of how the OFO is structured within the occupation or one occupation, you will have the major group, which is the title of the occupation. You have the sub-major group, minor group, unit group occupation. If you read through the Excel document of the OFO, it explains what each one is and how you are able to use it. It also allows you to go there and check the job tasks that are linked to that occupation. So if you're confused what this is about or that is about as an employer in the workplace, trying to craft a job description, the OFO is there to assist you. I think I'll pause here. I'm not sure if there are any questions before I hand over to Timothy. Can I take questions? Okay. Timothy? This is Timothy's from the IT. Can we have the mic?
Hi. The OFO codes, the latest version, we've all been working with outdated versions for a very long time. Has there been an updated version?
I wouldn't say it's outdated, it's still current. When we update the OFO, we update based on updates. So in the absence of updates, the department does not update it. It will still remain the 2021 version because there hasn't been any major updates that require them to actually change the name of the version. So it's not outdated. If you feel that it's outdated because your occupation is not there or your job title, just check first on the OFO if there's nothing similar to what you're looking for. If there isn't anything similar to what you're looking for, you're welcome to contact us. And what we normally do as a SETA, we are the middle person between you and us to submit requests to DHEAD, but we also need to go through our internal processes first, through ETQA and other departments, and determine if that's a new occupation that must be on the OFO. Because as far as it is, the occupations have been grouped in such a manner that it allows for the current occupations that we have in South Africa. So we look at that fact to see if it's a job title issue or if the occupation is not there at all.
I'm just asking the question in line with all the changes with the QCTO and the new occupational qualifications. The titles and the occupational names have changed quite a lot. So I want to know if the OFO code still accommodates that.
I think it should, but we'll pose that question to the head. As far as I know, it does accommodate that.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Good morning.
Morning.
We don't have a union, and we've never submitted a letter stating that we don't have a union. We do have a committee, though. We submit the minutes of committee meetings. So I just need clarity. Do we still need to submit a letter even though we have a committee, that we don't have a union?
Yes, you do. As I've indicated earlier on, I did say that we have been lenient on that, and that's part of the regulatory requirements on our side. So we are going to be looking for those. If you don't submit them, unfortunately, we won't be able to approve it. So yes, please keep submitting the training committee minutes, even though you don't have a labor union active. And if you are 50 and above employees and you don't have a labor union, you do need to submit a written letter. Because this is also one of the reasons why some of the issues we've had with people not completing their forms. We've had an issue with a company where they did not sign the authorization form in terms of the labor union representative. However, they did not indicate that they don't have. So we had to do it to and fro until they left the issue hanging. Once the end of March came, they forfeited that, and that's a big company. So yes, we are looking for those.
Okay. Another one. So you mentioned something like when we're not training people for training that are aligned to MICT, you're not going to be covering that anymore. I'm just asking for if we send in someone, for example, who works for an IT company but based in HR, how does that work?
That will be the determination to be done by LPD, because the finding is from the Learning Programs Division. These are the people who actually issue the discretionary grants. So you'll be applying for discretionary grant and you'll specify the areas. So when they make that determination and evaluation and approve or not, it will be also based on the occupations or the qualifications you want to train in. So we are having stakeholder engagements next month, where all our core departments will be there. It will be us, LPD, and ETQA. You are welcome to ask that question there, or you're welcome to send an email to us.
Good morning. I wanted to ask regarding the training committee minutes. Do we submit more than 1 minute, or 1 minute are fine?
You submit the minutes of any training committee that took place.
Oh, okay. Regarding the OFO codes, I wanted to check interns and learnership. Do we put them under the elementary category?
Elementary, that will be the lowest category. It depends on what level your learnership is at, because learnerships also have levels because they are linked to a qualification. So if it's NQF level 4, it must be clear. We normally don't offer elementary on our side. We discourage it, especially at the learnership level, because it must be linked to a qualification. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I've been waiting patiently.
Okay.
I want to know with the municipalities that we've got to indicate in the employee profile. With so many people working from home, I've actually had some unique situations where we now, for example, the majority of our employees are actually based in Johannesburg, but now we've got people working in Limpopo, we've got people working in the Free State, and the question is, are you looking for where the office is based and where they are reporting to, or where they are actually based? Because then that would mean you have to look at every employee's residential address and put that in as the municipality. We've always used it as where the office is, but now with people working from home, it's a bit of a different ball game. That's my first question. And then just out of interest, I was wondering, just looking at that graph you had, based on the majority of people reporting or members is in the Western Cape and then in Gauteng. Does that then mean that only 2 provinces are basically driven what are hard to find skills? I was just wondering, because if we don't have really people from Eastern Cape, Northern Cape or Limpopo actually reporting, or not to a high level reporting, how do we actually determine what is the scarce skills in those specific provinces? Because it seems to be driven by what's required in Gauteng and Western Cape then. Thanks.
Okay, let me answer the question you just asked now. So in terms of our sector profile, yes, Gauteng, KZN, Western Cape are our largest, meaning that that's where most of our employers and employees are based. So yes, the majority of the WSP ATRs will be based there. So if you also see our DigiGrant funding and spend is actually spent in Gauteng, followed by KZN and Western Cape. So in terms of the submissions that we get, interventions will be implemented in line with the WSP ATRs per province. We also have provincial SSPs. So we have each SSP for each province. For example, Northern Cape is a very small province, I think with less than 20 employers. So we will not be implementing a lot of programs there. So we actually analyze each province. So we are aware in terms also of the DG funding process. We are aware what is happening where. So the funding will always be mostly spent in Gauteng, followed by Western Cape and KZN. And we believe that we are planning for the right skills in the different provinces based on that sector profile, right? And then the other question was in terms of employee location. No, in fact, we're looking for the company location. So analysis is based on the companies where they are. So it's not about individual location and area, no. So, but based on the company information, we're able to tell how many employees are in each province. So that's how we analyze the data. So also we know that there's remote working policies now. You can work anywhere, but if your company is based in Gauteng, you will be accounted for Gauteng. Can I take that as the last question?
Just a question on my side.
Okay.
In the instance of a inter-SETA transfer that is pending, where should the organization be reporting to? The old one, or because we currently have an inter-SETA transfer into the MICT SETA, but this was from June last year. So we're just awaiting confirmation as to where should we report to.
Okay, so because of the system glitch, because that transfer happens at DHEAD. So for as long as that the levy file, we cannot get it, means even that transfer cannot happen. But if you choose to submit the WSP ATR with us, then you don't have to submit with your current SETA. Just make sure once you're informed that the transfer has happened, you contact us and request to submit the WSP ATR. It must be done, I think, within 90 days or 60 days after registration. It's up to you to contact us should you miss the deadline, because they will communicate with you and say, company so-and-so, your transfer has gone through. You are now part of MICT SETA. Then we do a manual WSP ATR submission. It's the same process we will do with new companies that join after the WSP ATR period has ended. So you can still submit with us, just bear in mind of the time period. We've also had that issue with a big company where the transfer happened after the closing date. However, they set on that communication when we have indicated that since they have been confirmed to have transferred to MICT SETA, they need to submit that ATR within 60 days. So that didn't happen. When they wanted to submit, it was already over that period, so we could not accept it. So that's how they lost their mandatory grant. So bear in mind. Also, when the transfer happens, they inform us. So usually we are the ones initiating the communication to indicate that your transfer has been successful. You are now within MICT SETA. Would you like to submit a WSP ATR? If yes, please start working on it. So it becomes a manual process in that sense. We won't open the system for you because we are audited on the system. There shouldn't be any WSP ATR on the system after the closing date. Okay, those are the two last questions.
Hi, I'm just asking on something that you responded on. You mentioned that obviously the SETA now will be focusing on, or funding rather, companies that align to MICT SETA, right? And for our company, we actually don't apply for mandatory grants, but we do sponsor a lot of out of our own pocket courses that are outside the SETA. How will that affect our rebates? Because the only thing we're currently getting from the MICT SETA is the rebates. Will this also apply to the rebates? Thank you.
Can I ask you why you're not submitting a WSP ATR first?
No, we are submitting it. The mandatory grants, that's what we haven't applied for at this point.
The DG grant?
Yeah, the DG grant.
Oh, okay. No, we will not penalize you because you are training in terms of your need as a company. We don't get in between you and the training that you do outside of the mandatory grant that would grant you. That's the last question.
Hi, I'm Matabela from MyPrint. My question is, as an employer implementing trainings for the youth and hiring them for these initiatives, I might be mistaken, please help me here. We've noticed a discrepancy in the age categorization between the MICT SETA and SARS, in that SETA defines youth as individuals aged between 18 to 35, while SARS categorizes youth for the ETI, Employment Tax Incentives, as those aged between 18 and 29. So this misalignment, it impacts our ability to maximize benefits while supporting the youth employment. So how can we work towards aligning them, these definitions between the SETA and SARS? Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not aware of that discrepancy. As far as I know, youth is up to 35. I could be wrong, but that's what I know. But as MICT SETA, we still train beyond that age up to, there are people we've trained who are pensioners. So maybe you can bring that matter to us, then we can see how we resolve it. Is that it? Okay. Thank you very much. Enjoy the session. I'll hand over to Mr. Timothy Chwena. Tim?
Good morning. Am I audible? Oh, thank you. Okay. Let me share my screen. I think you displayed the second one. Let me try and do this. Let me duplicate here. Can you just close this? Close it. Yes, it is duplicate.
Why is not duplicating?
I'll do it. Let me show you how. Let me assist you. The same. 1 and 2, 3. Show 1. No. See? Extend.
No,
the top one. 2 and 3.
The changes.
The changes. Chain 1 there. All right.
Yeah.
The meeting for? No, it is shared. Online on Teams. Oh, okay. It's showing. Okay. Okay. Morning, colleagues. Sorry for that few technical things. So, colleagues, okay. That's it. Oh, the volume. Okay. No, I'm not on Teams. Mute your mic. No, everything is muted here. Or just close it. Colleagues who are next to me, please mute your mic on Teams. Okay. Now I'm audible, ne? Both online and here in the room. All right. Thank you. My name is Timothy Treni, part of IT team at MICT SETA. I'm going to demo to you the WSP ATR submission, but we will start with SDF registration. As you know that the process starts where you must register and link yourself to a company before you will be able, so that you can submit WSP ATR. So colleagues, how we access our learner management system, you go to our website on Teams. They will do it that side. Okay. So how we access our learner management system, we go to mictseta.org.za, which is our website. You go to the top right corner where it says stakeholder login. That's where you click LMS login. Once you click LMS login, it will take you to the login page, which is this one.
Tim, can you please just hold on? Can we just wait for the online colleagues because they are not seeing anything that we're doing now? So let's just give it a few minutes. Is it coming?
Or should I join Teams with my phone or with my computer?
Okay, it's sharing now. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Oh, thank you. So you go to our website and click stakeholder login. Once you have accessed the stakeholder login, you click LMS login, which it takes you to our learner management system where you are going to find this screen. If you are an existing SDF, you will use your login credentials to log in, but if you are a new SDF, what you need to do, you need to click register. Once you click register, this is the form that you need to fill. But colleagues, remember that some of you are working with different departments under MICT SETA. So if you know that currently you have a profile on this system, as a learning program facilitator or as an assessor or training provider, any role that you have into the system, when you come to this one, you don't need to change your information. Remember, as an assessor or SDF, you can be an independent SDF where you submit for multiple companies. And when you submit for multiple companies, if you no longer have a relationship with a company A, but you still need to continue with company B and C, company A will contact MICT SETA and delink you from their information. So, so that you can avoid changing emails from employer 1, employer 2, employer 3, it is best if you use your personal email to manage all your profile. Okay? So as an SDF, you come to sign up page where you register your information. You fill in your name, last name, email. You will use the email that you have currently in the system. If you are currently using the employer email, continue with that employer email so that you can have one account that it has multiple roles, and in future if you wish to update your email, it will update your email and you will still be able to manage one account with multiple roles. Okay? And you provide your ID or passport. You indicate the type of ID or passport here, and you select SDF registration. You type in your password, You also repeat the same thing here. You agree to MICT SETA policy, and you do I'm not a robot. You click register. If you are the first time SDF, it will create a profile for you. If you have an existing profile like learning program facilitator, it will tell you that there is a profile added to your there is a role added to your existing profile. Okay. Then now I'm going to log in. There's a network here, or what? Okay, so once you log in, if you have only one role, it will take you straight into the system and you'll see your dashboard. But if you have multiple roles, then that's where you'll find this screen. You'll find your historical roles and the new role of SDF. Then now you need to select the correct role that you need to use. Colleagues, let's not confuse these roles. Learning program facilitator is a role to submit mandatory grants. Okay? And learning program is for discretionary grants. SDF is for mandatory grants. So that you understand when you move between these two roles, that learning program, discretionary grants, and SDF role, it is mandatory grants. Okay? So you will select SDF. So this is our dashboard. Currently we have a window that is running, which it has 68 days. So on your dashboard, colleagues, you'll see this counting down. At the below, it's where you see the announcement, and on your bottom right corner, that's where you see your companies that you have applied for, and also their statuses here at the below. On our top left corner, this is our menu. Dashboard, it's where we are, and we also have profile. Under profile, that's where you update your information as an SDF. You can also change your password. You provide your personal information, contact information, and SDF information here at the below. You click save. Okay. We also have SDF documents. Under SDF documents, these documents, they get uploaded at MICT SETA. These documents assist you in terms of using the system and also where you need to do bulk upload. If there is a new document that we wish to upload and give you some information, we can upload. It's like a library for you as an SDF, this site, where you find all the documents that we need to share with you. Okay, now we have SDF registration. With SDF registration, you can see that we also have multiple financial years. The active ones, they will have a different color. And at the below, we also have WSP, ATR application. That's where you do your application. Also, we have financial years. From there, we go to secondary SDF. That's where you add your secondary SDF. And query, that's where you monitor your queries when you communicate with us internally. Okay. Then from this left navigation, now we are moving to the top right corner. At the top right corner, we have this icon, which is a logout, and also we have the second icon in the middle, which is ask. When you ask here, you select the department, and also after selecting, you put your title, you put your question. This box can grow, so you can type in your information here and click ask. Once you click ask, the information comes to this side where it says my open query, meaning that we must respond to you. And if everything it is resolved, it will go to closed query. Okay, then we move to user manual. You can also watch videos here under user manual. Let me just click. So we have your user manuals here, which is videos. Our videos are very short. You can see this first one, it's 1 minute 44 seconds. So here it's where you can see the SDF registration, all short videos, how you do your personal details, linking companies, authorizer details, all this information until you start your WSP submission. Okay. Also, in terms of WSP submission, we did not put just one long video, but we all make sure that we make them short so that you can select what you want to watch. Okay, I'll go back to the system. Then here on the last icon, that's where you switch roles. So you don't need to log out from the system and log in. So that's where you switch roles to move to another department or to move to another role where you need, if you need to submit mandatory grants, that's where you move to learning program. And what you need to do is you need to look here next to your name to check which role are you using. Okay, so currently I'll continue with SDF registration. So under this picture, we still have the same thing, which is profile, reset password, and help. Remember, under help, it's where you find your user manuals. Okay. Now I'll go back to dashboard. Once you logged in, this is your dashboard. Now you want to link yourself or do SDF registration. You need to go under SDF registration, go to the active window or the current financial year that you are in. You click it. Once you click it, your SDF personal details will be auto-populated. What you need to do, you will check the information. If it is correct, you click save. Okay. Once you saved, it moves to SDF details. Remember, this information comes from your profile, so it auto-populates this form. Then you just need to verify this information. Once the information is correct, you click save. You move to the second tab. Okay. On this tab, colleagues, remember that if you are an existing SDF and you have historical companies that you were working with, so you don't need to start from scratch and link yourself to them, but what you can do, you can just confirm that you are still working with this company. Okay. Once you confirm, the company goes to this below table, and automatically the status of that company goes to approved. Then once it goes to approved, then it means you will be able to apply for this company for WSP and ATR, because already you are linked to this company as an SDF. Okay, but if you wish to add a new company, you just come here, you click link a new company, you provide the SDL number of a new company. Once you provided the SDL number of a new company, you click search, and the company information will populate here, where you continue linking yourself to that company. Okay. Once you link yourself to that company, it will appear like this, which it shows that it is not yet approved. You need to continue with your application. When you continue with your application, you click here where it says edit. Okay. You click edit. I don't know why it is slow, whether it's by network or what. Colleague is still loading. Okay, it has loaded the information. So once it has done loading the information, now you'll be able to see the SDL of the company and the company name. What you need to do, you must fill in this information from point 1 to point number 6. But point number 4 and point number 5, they are not that much important. If you don't have the information, you can jump straight to point number 6. So here at point number 1, submission detail, you are going to fill in this information, which we ask this information where it says in which industry is this company involved in. Then you need to select the industry from this drop-down list. So if you check our drop-down list, here we have advertising, which it has this, electronics. You will select everything for electronics. We have film and media, and then you will select for film. We also have information technology. You will select anything that is under here. So you move to the next drop down. Are you a consultant or acting for the employer? Then you also indicate whether you are a consultant or not. Okay. Then you also indicate the method of appointment here, where you are appointment by employer or nominated by employees or self-appointed. Okay. Then you also indicate on this side, select your SDF function from the list. You also select whether it's a group of organization, multiple branches of an organization. So you will select what it is related to you. You click save. Now it moves you to number 2, where you fill in the authorizer information. So with the authorizer information, please note that this page automatically send an email to the authorizer, where they can get an email that SDF Timothy is currently linking himself to your company. Please, as an authorizer, please sign the authorizer document for him. Okay, so once you fill in this information, you click save, automatically the authorizer gets the email. Okay, now you move to the banking details. So colleagues, we also have these notes here. So it is important to read this note so that you can upload documents that they are up to date or what they need. So on this side, it's where you fill in your banking information. You select your bank. If you don't find your bank here, please contact us at MICT SETA. We can add that specific bank for you. And also you type in the account holder, and you indicate the type of account, which is savings, check, or business account. You also fill in the account number. You choose and upload your bank letter. Okay, click save. Then after you are done with banking information, automatically the system takes you to number 6. But if you know that you have subsidiary companies, you can come this side to number 4 and add your subsidiary company. How you add your subsidiary company, it is the same way you have added this main company. You just need to type in your SDL number and click search. Once the information appears here, you click add subsidiary company. Also, if you have a secondary SDF, if you have a secondary SDF is someone who's going to assist you to submit your application, but they can only upload information and edit the content on the application. They cannot click submit button. So with a secondary SDF, they can do everything on the system, but they don't submit. And also, when you add a secondary SDF to this specific company, remember we are dealing with this specific company, on their side as a secondary SDF, they won't be able to see this information of this company or any other companies that you are working with. They will only see the information of the company that you have appointed them for as a secondary SDF. Okay? Then also when you add your secondary SDF, you just put the information. I'll put my email here, cell phone, ID, I'll use passport. Then you click add secondary SDF. Once you click add secondary SDF, under secondary SDF, you'll find your secondary SDF here. Okay, now you can go to the last stage where you submit the registration. Okay, so on this page, colleagues, again we have a note here. Please take note of these notes that you are providing. But firstly, what you need to do is to download the letter of appointment. That's the letter that you are going to give your authorizer. Okay, so this is the letter of appointment. So we provided a template for you to use. So on this letter of appointment, what you need to do, you must provide your company letter header at the top, provide the date here, you provide your physical address, and also you leave MICT SETA information the way it is. You leave this information the way it is. Also the title of the letter, you leave the way it is. Now you come to this point where you need to edit the information. The letter, it reads as follows. This serves to confirm that we have appointed Mr. John Doe. Then you put the correct information here. As the primary skills development facilitator or secondary skills development facilitator for our company XYZ, you put the correct information of the company here. Also, you come at the below, our company levy number is, you put the correct company levy number. You also provide SDF information here. Okay, which is name, ID, cell phone, and office number, and also the email address. Then it gets signed by the authorizer, which it can be the HR executive, CEO, or any other person on that organization. Then you convert this document into PDF, then it gets uploaded into our system. Okay, so when you upload it, you just come here, you click upload signed letter of authorization, of appointment, I'm sorry. Then you upload that letter. Please note that we don't have a delete function on the system, but if you have already uploaded a wrong letter, you are able to override that letter. You just come to the same upload the correct one, it will override the previous letter. Okay, let me just cancel this. Okay, once it gets uploaded, then you can also view the appointment letter, and you can click submit you can submit the SDF registration. Then it will follow our internal processes. Okay? Any questions from this SDF registration? Hey, there is a hand there at the back. That back there, next to the door.
Thank you, I'm sorted. My question is, the authorization letter for SDF, is it only for new SDFs or even existing previous year SDFs? Do they have to submit the letter? Second part is, if there is a change in the authorizer, do I need a new appointment letter because the previous one would have been authorized by the previous authorizer?
The first question was?
The SDF appointment letter, is it submitted by all SDFs or only the new SDFs?
Okay, it is submitted by all SDFs, but if you have a historical company like this, if this company, you see this company is approved, meaning that you have already submitted it in the previous financial year, let's say last year, you applied for this company, you submitted an appointment letter. Then when it comes to the current year, you just need to click confirm so that you continue to indicate that you are continuing working with the same company that you have submitted in the previous year. Okay? And then change of authorizer, I think the administrators and those who are evaluating applications, they can answer that.
Okay, so if the authorizer has changed, I think it's better that you upload a new letter so that even on the authorization page, you will have the new details of the new authorizer.
Okay. Meaning that the information that you are providing here, it must be the same information that you provide on the letter. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's a change in the SDF, the previous one is no longer with the company, and then you are registering the new one, or what is the process there? Do you need to change the profile here and upload the new one, the new SDF?
Okay. If Timothy was working at company ABC and resigned from company ABC, now there is a new person. So remember when we started, we said Timothy can apply for multiple companies. Then it means you don't need to take the profile of Timothy. As a company, you need to contact MICT SETA and send a letter that says, we are delinking Timothy. Please link our new SDF, which it is SDF XYZ, to our company. Then at MICT SETA, we'll delink the first SDF and link the new one, meaning that the new SDF now will see the information and the first SDF that has resigned won't continue seeing the information of the company. Is it fine? Okay.
Oh, hi. I just want to check, on my system, I can't access my previous submission. Like the report of last year and all that, it doesn't show.
So
I'm not sure if I'm the only one.
So you remember your submissions, it goes with financial years.
Yeah, even if I go to the previous financial year.
Even if you go to the, I think then it's a technical issue. We should treat it outside of this. Okay.
So you need to confirm your details first. So
Oh, there is a mic.
access to the system.
Oh, sorry. They were saying that you need to confirm your details first before you can get access to the to those financial years. Remember, we talked about confirming that you are still working with those companies. Yes. There was a hand somewhere. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues. I wanted to say we also have questions online. So the first question is from Bendulo. What should I do if the former employer is not helping in delinking me as a SDF?
The employer is not responsible for delinking you, but also I think as an SDF, the relationship goes two ways. If the employer does no longer want to work with you, they can contact MICT SETA to delink. If you are the one who's no longer working with the employer, then also you need to send an email to MICT SETA so that we can do the same thing.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, I'm only attending to the questions that our team hasn't responded to. How do we link QCTO accreditation with MICT SETA?
That one, it goes under ETQA department. Currently, we are in the SSP department, which is Skills Development Department. So that one is under Quality Assurance, which is ETQA.
And then lastly, I cannot see my reports either. It is blank. I have confirmed, but still cannot see the reports.
Yes, we need to understand the role of the person, because now we are dealing with SDFs, and I'm not sure which report they are looking for. We have multiple roles in the system.
Okay, Zodo, you'll have to respond to that. Very last question is, once someone is appointed as an SDF, how long does it take for our company to be linked to the correct SETA?
Once you remember the registration that I've showed here, it's how you link yourself to a company. So it goes to our internal process where they need to verify your information, evaluate, approve. Once they approve you, then that's when you can be able to be linked to that company. But in terms of the business, the department will tell the turnaround time. I won't tell you the turnaround time. What is the turnaround time, colleagues?
So I wanted to check, last year when we were submitting our report, on the system, they did not require the training committee minutes. They wanted the minutes later in August. So I wanted to check, is it going to be the same thing this year, or what is going to happen?
So we have a functionality on the system now. We are going to upload on the system.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Hi. The company's banking detail letter, do we need to upload that every year, or if it hasn't changed, we can just keep the old one?
If it doesn't change, automatically the system reads what you have already uploaded, it brings it. But even after the close of application, I think you are still able to update that letter. So we close all the functionalities of the system so that you don't, after the closing date, you are unable to submit an application, but company detail information, it is still open where you can update. So meaning that if you wish to update it, you will update it. And also again, we need to check if there is a note where they need, if they say 3 months. If they are talking about a banking information that it must be at least latest, then you need to upload the latest one. Okay. You see here the note, it says proof of banking details should not be older than 3 months when you start your application. But if you confirmed, let's say you were approved, if you have confirmed that you are still working with this company, then automatically it approves your application with the previous information. But you can still go to the same company and update the banking detail. Thank you. Any question? Okay.
Sorry, I'm not sure if somebody's asked this now already. With the authorizer, we've had a situation where our authorizer has actually now left the company. So when I did the registration, I had the old authorizer's details in there. Can I actually go back and put the new authorizer's details in there?
You want to answer?
Yeah, so you can change it under the WSP forms. You'll see there's authorizer tab.
Okay.
Okay. With actually the SDF, if there's a handover, let's say I was doing it as an assistant on behalf of maybe my manager, and then decided to send me for training, and then to take over that as an SDF. So now, do we have to have those two separate logins, or I can update from her previous one so
No.
that I can access the previous information, or it's fine to have two of them?
Now, remember, if you are having two, it means there is a primary SDF, there is a secondary SDF. And there is no way that the secondary SDF can take the primary SDF role. Okay? So this goes back where I indicated that if now they want to continue with you, then you need to send, as a company or employer, you need to send a letter to MICT SETA. So firstly, you need to register yourself as an SDF before you send the letter. You get approved. Then you ask that, okay, please delink this person. Now link the second person as the SDF to this company. Then you can take over. Thank you. Okay, colleagues, if there is no further question, I think it is time for tea. Thank you. We will come back for WSP application.
15.
Thank you.
Colleagues, we've scheduled tea for 15 minutes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hmm?
Welcome back. I think we're ready for the last segment. We'll be doing the WSP ATR application. Tim will take us through. Over to you, Tim.
Okay, let's start. All right. Oh, thank you. Okay, colleagues, let's continue. We started by submitting our SDF registration, which it goes through internal processes and get approved. Then once it is approved, that's when you will be able to submit for WSP ATR. All right. So right now I will log in again, go back to the same application. Now when you come back into the system, remember now you are approved as an SDF for that specific company. If you were linked to multiple companies, then now you are approved to submit WSP for those multiple companies. So what you need to do, now we are done under SDF registration, we come to WSP ATR. When you click WSP ATR, it also has windows with financial years. So you go to the active financial year, you click it. So once the company gets approved from the SDF registration, automatically it populates this site. So these are the list of companies that I'm approved for. Then I'll select one of my company. I click Open WSP. So once I clicked Open WSP, this is the information that I get. First form at the top, it's about company details. Remember you were asking about how to update the bank letter. So company details, it is still here. You can continue and update the information if you wish. Okay. Also, this information comes back even if you confirmed as an SDF, you did not do the application, but you confirmed that I'm still working with company ABC, then this information will appear here. Okay. You start at main company details. You check the information. If it is still the same, you click save. You move to the authorizer details. Remember, this authorizer details is the same authorizer details that you have submitted during your SDF registration. You also check the information. You click save. You go to the banking details again. If you still you have changed the bank or you still use the same bank, if you have changed the bank, you can re-upload a new bank letter that is not older than 3 months. Then you click save. Okay. If you have subsidiary companies, that's where you will be able to see your subsidiary companies here. Okay. Now you go to the WSP forms. With the WSP forms, we have from Form 1 up to Form 13. And with this one, now that's where we start to identify small, medium, and large companies. Okay? So first form is employer profile. On the employer profile, I will take more time under employer profile because how we submit information here on the system under this multiple forms from 1 to 13, it is the same way. So I'll make sure that I give you detailed information on this first form so that you understand going forward what you need to do with these other forms. Okay? So I will delete some of my employers here. Let me just go to 0. So under employer profile, I don't have any information. So you click form number 1, which is the employer profile. We have buttons here at the top. So from these buttons, colleagues, the first button, you add a new profile. When you click it, it gives you this option. You can add the information here in the system. And we also have a bulk upload. I know that most of you are struggling in terms of bulk upload, but I will explain this from start to finish. Okay? And in terms of the bulk upload, you download the template here. So please make sure when you download your template, don't go to form number 1, employer profile, you click download, you move to form number 2 or other forms that you need to download, and you download the template. What you need to do, please download the first one. When you download it, rename it accordingly. You can also call it Form 1 WSP employment profile. You can call it employment profile so that you know it, or you can call it Form 1 so that you know where it goes, so that you don't make a mistake of taking Form 1 and upload it under Form 6, because it won't it will raise an exception into the system. Okay, so let me save mine. I'll just call it Form 1, which I know that it's my employer profile. Under Form 1, this is our template. Before I can continue with this template, let me start straight on the system. With a template, I think it is advisable to upload. If you have 50 or more employees, you can use the template. But if you know that you have 20 or less, please use the system to upload your information, because with a template, the system processes the information at a later stage where there is no traffic on the system. Okay? So I will start on the system where you click Add New Profile. Okay? When you click Add New Profile, you firstly select OFO Major, which maybe you can select Manager, and Sub Major, Administrative, Occupation, maybe Finance Manager, and also you go under Municipalities. Once you click under Municipalities, you can start to search your municipality by typing here. So I'll select City of Kuruleni. Then after that, now you are going to capture the information looking at your employment profile at your company. If you have, let's say, 5 males and 2 females, black African females, that means you have a total of 7, meaning that you can't come under disability and say 8. The system will raise an exception. So the total of this 7, also the disability number must come from this total. So it means the disability can be 3, 6 or 7, not more than 7. Okay, I will just put 2. Then you move to the next row. If you have 1 here, you have 2 here for colored, and you don't have a disability, it is fine. So now you see we have 7 Africans, 3 coloreds, because it's 1 plus 2 is 3, and here we have 5 plus 2 is 7. The total number here, it is 10. Okay, let's just leave the disability aside. The total number of employees here, it is 10. So when you come to age group, you need to indicate the total number here. So for example, you can say 5, 5, 2. Already it's more than 10, meaning it's 12. So what you need to do here, it needs to be, if it is 5 on this age group, then here it can be 3, and then plus 2, it is equals to 10. That means this number tallies with this number of employees at the top. Also, when it comes to skills level, the same thing. If we have 5 here, we have 3 here, we cannot have 3 here because it is equals to 11. So it needs to be 2, meaning it is equals to 10. So I'll try and make it 11. Let me just put 5, let's say 30. I click save, it gives you the exception. But if you put the correct number, it takes the information. So what you do here, it is the same thing that you need to do on the template. So when it comes to the template that you have downloaded, in terms of the template, firstly, you are not allowed to copy your data from your spreadsheet to the template, because now when you copy this information, our template is no longer going to be compatible with our system. So we provided this drop-down list so that you can use and upload the information. So you do the same thing. Under major, you just click the drop down list, you select professional, and when you select professional, on the second drop down list, it gives you things that are related to what you have selected here. Same way as the system. Okay? Then under professional, you can see here we have teaching professional. I select. And also under occupation, maybe I'm a lecturer. Automatically it brings the all codes here. So same way, you don't copy and paste this information, you just need to select. Okay, then it comes to the municipality. Under municipality, you select the drop down. After you have selected the drop down, now you can come and type your municipality, so it auto populates the information that you are typing. Okay, so once you type the information, you start looking at the correct municipality. Okay, then you go to the same information that we did, where you now start to input. I'm not sure that if you can see at the back there, or maybe should I zoom in or do something. Okay, so from here now, that's where you start to put the information. You see we have African male, female, and disability. From this one you jump to colored male, colored female, and colored disability. To Indian also we have 3 columns for them, which is 1 for male, female, and disability. We go to white, we have the same information, male, female, disability. Okay, so what you need to do here, automatically when you start to put the information here, it starts to calculate the number of males and females. I indicated 5 males under African and 2 females. If you check here, we have the information displayed. It means we have a total of 7 employees. Then I'll come here under white. I'll put 5 males and 5 females. Automatically it calculates here. There is 5 males under white, there is 5 males under African. It means total males is 10. So colleagues, what you need to do, you need to just make sure that you understand how we calculate this information, whether on the system or on the template, okay, on the spreadsheet. So once you are done with that, now you move to age group. Same way, now you are able to see the total number of males and females. On the spreadsheet it's easy, you can see the total because of there is 10 males, 7 females. Now it means when you do your age group here, it must be up to 17. You can say you have 10 here, and you can have 5 here, and then have 2 here. It's 17. The total is 17 under this age group. It is the same thing that you have done under this one when you are putting the age group here. Okay, and then you go again to the skills, which you also need to indicate junior, intermediate, and seniors. So that's how we enter the information, colleagues. You don't need to copy and paste the information. Sometimes, yes, we do understand that you may have 200 or 300 employees, which it becomes difficult for you to load this data. But if you have one of our templates, you can still load the information before we can open the window. We are no longer changing the template. We cannot upgrade the template. Now the system, it is there for at least 3 years or 3 windows, so we are not going to change the template. If you know that you need to submit the same information that you have submitted. Store the template somewhere. Even if we did not start to open the window, work on your template. Okay? And also we opened the window very early in December, so you can start working on that information. All right? So once you have entered the information correctly, you will upload the template, the Excel file. So now we have changed the upload. We have two ways to upload. Now the system takes whether an Excel or an CSV. If you don't need to do a CSV, you just upload the same Excel that you have captured information. And the difference is, with a CSV, the system is quick to process the data. With an Excel, it is a bit slow because Excel is heavy. Okay? So you upload your CSV, the data will come here. The same way that you, the data that you have entered on the system will appear. So colleagues, if you check here on my forms, I have form 1, 2 up to 13. We don't have training committee. Okay? For training committees, it applies if you have 50 plus employees. So I'll just try and add more employees so that we can have the training committee. I'll just add them here. Professional, health, general medical practitioner, and then I also put my, now because of I need leach data, I'll put 10 here, 10 here, 10, 10, and 5, 5, 5, 5. So now I have 15 under African, 15 under colored, which is equals to 30, and I also have 15 under Indian, and 15 here, which is equals to 60. The total number is 60. So now when I put the information here, it must be according. So I'll put 20 here, put 30 here, or let me put 30 here. 30, 20, and 10 in terms of the age group. I will repeat the same thing. Juniors is 30, intermediate is 20, and seniors is 10. So the total number is 60. And if I wish to indicate the disabilities, it means the disability must come out of this 2 number, which is 5 and 10 is equals to 15. If I indicate the disability, it may be 5 here and 5 here. If I try to say 15 here, let's say 16 here, try to save, it raised the exception. Okay? So I need to put correct information. Then I click save. Now the information is there. We have 60 employees plus 10, the ones that we have added. The total employees is 70 here. Now we have a training committee. You see between 1 and 2, now there is an option for training committee. Okay? Under training committee, let me just delete some of the data that I have. Under training committee, you need to add employer representative and employee representative, and also indicate the union representative. Okay, so you'll load this information, and please note that on this note we said an SDF cannot be part of the training committee. So as an SDF, you don't need to add your information here. You are the one who's doing the application. Okay? Let me add the last member. You put the initial and passport, and then is a train, and also you indicate the designation of the person. Now you have these three people here under training committee. Now you'll be able to move to other forms. Okay? Form number 2, it talks about WSP budgets and PTP budget. You need to also indicate that information and you click save. Form number 3, you do the same. You need to add scarce skills, which you do the same thing as if you are loading the data like on the first form, but here we don't have a bulk upload under scarce skills. And also again, make sure that you read the notes at the top. Okay, I'll just add one. Then you need to also indicate the intervention, if it is whether it's an NQF aligned or not. If you say yes, then you need to indicate the NQF level, structured source of scarcity, and then also you need to indicate here in terms of level, and also you need to specify the reason for the scarcity. And also you need to select the remaining drop downs in terms of the shortage, and also you need to indicate if you are going to recruit outside of the Republic or not. If you are saying yes, you need to indicate the number, and if you are saying no, then you don't need to indicate anything. Then you click save. So that's how we fill in the form number 3, which does not have a bulk upload. Also, form number 4 does not have a bulk upload. We fill in the form number 4 the same way we do form number 3. But the most important forms that you also need to work on, it is form number 1, form number 6, because they have a bulk upload, and you need to understand how you capture the information on the bulk upload, or you do add the information on the system. Adding the information on the system, automatically the information will be on the system, but if you use bulk upload and you make mistakes, then there will be a button here where you are able to see the report of the bulk upload. So with the report of the bulk upload, let's say row number 12, there was a mistake, row number 20, there was a mistake. What you need to do so that you don't duplicate information if you are using a bulk upload, you need to come to this button and of delete all. You delete all before you can re-upload the same spreadsheet. Because if you keep re-uploading the same spreadsheet 3 times, 4 times, remember on our spreadsheet we don't have primary keys where we can identify that you already uploaded Timothy with ID number 12345. We don't have that primary key, meaning if you keep uploading the same spreadsheet, you are duplicating the data. So what you need to do, you need to click delete all before you can re-upload. Once you click delete all, you re-upload, then it will take all the rows that are on your spreadsheet. But firstly, you need to look at the report that you have, okay? And also, if you need to expand your list like this, you can expand your list so that you are able to see the total number of employees and the information that you are capturing Here at the below, it also indicates in terms of the total number of employees. Okay. Now we move to form number 7, which also use a bulk, but I'm not going to show you this one because I already explained it more in details under form number 1. You also indicate form number 8, which is you can use bulk or you can add the information through the system. So colleagues, there are certain forms that are not compulsory for first-time submissions. So if you are a first-time submitter, that means this does not apply to you. From form number 8, from number 9, from number 10, from form number 11. If you are a first-time submitter, then this does not apply to you. But when you come back in the next financial year, because in this financial year you have jumped this, automatically the system will detect that the previous financial year you have submitted, then it will require this information, okay, where it is also going to do your variance report so that you can see the variance between what you have done previously and compare it with the current information. Okay. Then we move to form number 12. Form number 12, this is the survey. So also on our survey, questions that we have this year, if the internal team wish to change them, they may not be the same in the coming years. Okay, so you also need to submit this survey. Also, you choose the information from the survey. Where we need you to type the information, you type the information. Where we need you to select, you select. After the survey, you move to impact assessment. Under impact assessment is the same thing. You also fill in the information that is required here under impact assessment. Where we need you to type information, please type. And where we need you to select like this, you just select the information. Okay, I see one of our stakeholders is struggling to see. Let me zoom in the information. You are able to see, sir? Okay, okay. So this is how now it looks because I have zoomed in. So you need to just select, answer these questions. We will be reading a question from the side and then you answer. And from the top to the bottom, because we do impact and also our survey. These are the two forms that you'll be working on before you go to submit. Okay, then you click submit. Under submit, that's where you print the authorization form. The authorization form, please print the authorization form at the late stage, because if you print the authorization form before you fill in all this information, it won't print out those information that are needed from here, because the authorization form takes the entire information, put it in one PDF document, then so that you are able to sign. If you check here, it has all the SDF and the training committee members here. So you need to fill in the information before you can print the authorization form. If you change something in your application, you need to come back and reprint the authorization form and sign it again. Remember, you are allowed to change the information on your application until the closing date. Let me do this. You see it says 68 days. So you can click submit of the application, but if you wish to add or edit information, you can come back to the application. Once you are in the application, you update whatever information that you wish to update, but you need to reprint the authorization form and sign it again. Then you click submit. But after the closing date, you won't be able to update this information. Okay, so also on this page, colleagues, if you check, you need to print the authorization form, sign it, and upload it. If you check here, I have uploaded a B certificate, a dummy document, but if I wish to replace this document, I just click here and re-upload a new document, which is the bank. It has override the previous document. Okay, we don't have a delete function. Then you need to also fill in the upload the BE or the SON affidavit. You talked about this training committee minutes. So with this one, yes, in the previous financial year, you have sent the minutes to the internal colleagues, but now we did put the option here so that you can upload the document. Okay, proof of training. Here under proof of training, sorry colleagues, I just zoomed in so that everyone can see. Under proof of training, also you need to upload, but we have a maximum of 5 files, and also 5 files, but also here at the top, our document, one attachment must be at least 10 megabytes. Okay, so you can upload your files here. We see here we have uploaded a transcript, we uploaded a certificate of completion, we also uploaded a financial statement indicating the cost of training. Okay, let me just zoom out for 2 seconds so that you can check how it looks. So this is the information, but let me zoom in. So if you wish to add another document, let's say transcript, you will click here and you type the name transcript, then you choose file, you click add training document. Now we have 4 documents, and also you can add the last documents because we take up to 5 documents. The last one, I'll just type test. This is our last document. Then the system does not give you an option to upload more than 5. Okay, all right. Then once you have uploaded your proof of training, it goes down. Now it just gives us a summary of our employment profile. We have a total of 70 employees. Now it indicates the total number of males, females, and disabled. Okay. Also, if we have also uploaded information under WSP planned, PTP planned, it was going to give us the figures here. It's just because of I have jumped these forms. Okay, so this is a summary of what you have done in terms of the training profile and employment profile. Then going down, it also indicates what you have done on the system and what have you left on the system. So these ticks and check boxes, it assists you. But once everything it is green here, the submit button will be enabled. You will be able to click the submit button. Okay, then you submit your application. Remember, I told you that if you submit your application today, tomorrow you can wake up and update your information. Until here we have 0 zeros, meaning after 0 zeros you won't be able to submit anything. Maybe only if internally they wish to return an application back to you so that you can fix certain documents. Okay? All right. Colleagues, that's the end of WSP ATR submission. Any question? Yes, 1, 2, 3. Hey, that corner, 4, 5. So I think we need 3 mics for here and the other side and at the back there. Okay. When you are done, pass it to the lady at the back. And then here, when you are done, you pass it at the back also. So you can choose your number 1.
I'll go first. Morning.
Morning.
I just want to find out Form 1 and Form 6, your bulk uploads.
Bulk uploads.
Yeah. Are they supported on iOS?
iOS, I mean the operating system?
Yes.
Yes, it is supported. Okay. Remember, this is an online system where you only need a browser.
Okay.
So it does not discriminate, maybe if I can use that word, okay, which operating system that you are using. Even if you are using Linux, you are using Windows, or you are using Android, okay, you will still be able to submit.
Okay, then my next question is on certificates, invoices, POPs. I know you said we can upload up to 5 documents.
Yes.
How do we sample those? How do you recommend you sample those, especially where you have over 50 proof of training documents?
Our internal team will answer that because they evaluate the documents.
Okay.
They did not hear you, Garabo, the other.
I'm saying you can just sample 10% on your reported trainings.
Okay, thank you. The next one. Okay.
So I actually wanted to ask the same thing.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'd like to ask about the employment part on Form 1. There are some icons that say skills, and you have junior, intermediate, and senior. Can you please elaborate on that? What does it actually mean? Does it mean the NQF level, that the highest education level, or please? Thanks.
Who wish to elaborate on this one from the SSP team? Let me go to the...
So we are referring to the position of the employee. So when we say, can just indicate the senior manager of the organization, intermediate, maybe an IT technical support. So we are referring to the position of a person, not experience.
Yes, remember skill level, I can come as an intern, meaning, or 2 years experience, meaning it's junior, and intermediate, I don't know whether it's 3 or 2, 5, and also senior. Yeah, it means in terms of skill.
In terms of skills levels, we also do align it to the NQF levels. So for instance, NQF level
that mic
5, or rather 6 to about 10 would be considered high skills level, and then 4, or it's just that I can't remember from the top of my mind, but maybe 3 until 5 would be intermediary, and then we'd have elementary, which is between 1 and 3.
Okay. At the corner, are they fine that side? Oh, okay. Follow up. Oh, there is a follow-up question?
Sorry, so I wanted to 2 things based on what this lady asked about the number of documents that we upload. You said 10%, so if we've got 100 invoices, we're going to upload 10. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you can just sample.
Okay, we just sample them. And then if you say 5 documents, does that mean I can upload 1, 2, 3, or do I upload like 5 together as one PDF document?
Okay, it works like this. Let's say one PDF, it has 50 pages, but still under 10 megabytes. you can upload it. Okay? But it can be one document with 3 pages and 15 megabytes. Then it won't be able to be uploaded
so
on the
it's dependent
system.
on the megabytes.
Yeah, it depends on the megabytes that of the document, and also we don't. What is it? You can upload. You can combine your documents if you wish. Okay.
That's fine.
Thank
and
you.
It's just something else based on what this lady's asked about the skills level, because it does become problematic. Because if we, for example, send this out to line managers to say they've got to assess the skills level, I'm just actually thinking we need to align on exactly what it is that you want, because I think you're going to get different answers. Because let's, for example, say I'm an intermediary skill person, but now I move to a new position. For all practical purposes, I might be studying that position now. So I'm back to a junior skills level, and I've actually seen line managers do that. So they'll mark the person, they might be intermediary in that position that they were, but they moved to another position now, and now they're junior skill. Or they were senior, and now they're intermediary. So I've actually seen that a lot with senior gone to intermediary, because they actually made a horizontal move to move into a new type of field. So the question is, does the SETA want us to actually assess that specific position that the person is in, because that becomes very subjective? Or do we actually link it, like you've said, to where does the person pitch on that NQF level? In other words, I came into the organization with a bachelor's degree or with a B in computing degree, and I'm probably on an NQF level 7, regardless of the amount of experience I have. Because I think you're going to get all kinds of different answers about the skills level in your sector if we don't standardize on exactly what that definition should be. Thank you.
Thank you. Who's going to answer?
Okay. Mine is based on the employment.
Please hold a bit so that they can answer the previous
on
one.
terms of skills level, what we normally do, we have notes. If we don't have notes on this one, can you allow us to put a note and guide you in terms of what we mean by junior, intermediate? Huh?
You've got that graph where you link the junior, intermediate to the NQF levels. Is that what you
She says that in terms of assisted, perhaps we can have that info pop up.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I'm not sure if we have for that one. I have not been on it for some time, but we normally do that to guide you on each section so you know what you're looking for. So we'll review that. Maybe it will be up by Monday. Okay?
Okay, mine is based on employment profile. I just want to check if we are reporting from the 1st of April 2024 to 30 March 2025. And then the employees that were in from April 2024 who resigned maybe somewhere around August. Do we include them or we exclude them if they did, they are in the ATR as well?
Business.
Hi, hello. My name is Percy from the MICT. Now, when we are reporting on the employment profile, we have to report the employees that are contributing to the skills development levies to date. So if you are submitting today, so we have to make the calculation that these are the employees that we have for this day, and then that's what we need, because it's an employment profile to date. So we have to minus those that have left the company and include the ones that are currently working for the company or organization.
But then if they did a lot of training,
yes, we report this on the other forms that are provided.
But excluded employment profile.
Yes, the other forms that are provided. Then when it comes to the ATR, then that's where we report them.
Hi. Earlier you mentioned for first-time companies, if you're submitting for first-time companies, there's certain forms that don't have to be filled in. What do you do, because at the summary on your checklist, it's not ticked, so you can't submit What do you do there?
Let me answer it.
On this one, when it comes to submitting the information, there are companies that are submitting for the first time. Those companies are not required to report. For example, on the ATR, on the PCR, and also on those two forms, they are not required to provide information there because it will be the first time. We only need their plans. So it means they have to complete form number 1, employment profile, training committee, training budgets, scarce skills, critical skills, annual payroll, WSP, PCP, the organization survey on workforce dynamics and impact assessment, and then the authorization form, and then submit. We would not also need a proof of training. We don't need those ones. But for the companies that submitted on the previous financial year, we need all the forms to be completed and be submitted. I hope that answers your question.
Yes. On top of what you say, automatically the system validates that. So you won't rob it and say, I did not submit last year. It looks into the database and finds you, and it will need that information.
My question is based on the attachments, financial statements indicating cost of training. So we are a global entity, and as you can already imagine, our financial statements are complex. So if it happens that I can't find accurate cost of training on the financial statements, do you have an alternative document I can attach instead of the financial statement relating to cost of training?
Okay, I'll take that. Yes, you can upload a proof of payment from the bank and the training invoices.
Any other questions? I think there at the back there.
I wanted to ask regarding the employment profile. Do we include the medically boarded employees on the employment profile?
Okay. On the employment profile, so you have to do a research on your site to check if these employees are contributing to the skills development levies or not. And if they are contributing to the skills development levies, you include them. If they are not, then you exclude them.
My follow-up question is on the proof of cost of training. So what does the SETA regard as training costs? For example, if you're running a learnership, and I'll use the BE as an example. If you're running a learnership, we will consider the cost of salary of an employed learner. We would consider the salaries of the trade. There's various things that we consider as training costs. And secondly, also note, where a learnership has started in a previous year and it carries into another financial year. For example, I might have reported it in 2023, but it finished in 2024, which means I'm reporting it twice in 2 different financial years. So that cost of training was paid in a different financial year, but the program carried over in the 2 periods. What exactly do I report? Do I report only the expenses that occurred during the year of reporting, or do I report the value of the training for that period?
This one goes to the business. Anyone?
Remember, it should also depend on what you've planned. On your WSP.
They can't hear you.
Sorry, ma'am, I can't hear you.
I was saying it will depend on your plans as well.
You had threefold questions, right?
Close.
The one was for the
back, but closer to your
oh,
mouth.
okay. Sorry, where's the person who's asking the question?
Oh, yeah, at the back there, we can't see the person.
Okay. So your first question was related on the training invoices. Was it invoices, or how do you invoice the people that you've trained and then they are no longer part of the organization? Am I correct?
No.
Yeah. Can you rephrase it?
So what does the SETA regard as training expense?
Okay.
Maybe let me
A
put it
training
that way.
expense is all the monies that are spent towards the actual training, the training costs.
And will the salary of the training team be considered as training expense?
It depends. Was it an internal training or an external training?
It
Because
could be
you can
internal.
have-
So the training team will be responsible for internal training.
Okay, if it's an internal training, yes, you can report them as such, because they'll be claimed as the training documents and the training material, and hence the cost is affected in that.
And then how far do we expand the cost of training? For example, I can calculate the cost of the training center I'm using. I can calculate the cost of the printing. And do we also consider employee salaries for the hours that they spend in training?
No, but if it's internal, but externally, no. But if it's internal, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I think I'd like to add to what the previous speaker was saying, that I think the question is, in a case of learnerships or interns that we bring into the companies, we would pay them a training stipend. Would you consider that? Maybe they're coming from a college, they're doing NQF level 5 or 6, and we're paying them salaries and we're taking them through programs. Would you consider that salary training costs?
Yes, we will.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yes. Where's the mic? Oh, there's a mic. Yeah, there's a mic. It's coming. Oh. Podium.
Because I think they, sorry, yeah. Can we rain check? Can you send me an email? I'll answer you. So we just need to check. Let's not confuse and say stipend is a training cost.
Just one question from me. It always dribbles me when I need to do the submission. So for the headcount, we said we're using our headcount as of 1st of April or 30th of April on the employee profile.
So you indicate your employment profile according to the financial year, which is 1st of April till 31st of March.
Can I take it that the Q&A is at the end? If there are any questions, can you put them on the chat? Can I take 2 last questions, please?
I wanted to check if the invoice falls into 2 claim periods. How do we go about that?
Can I ask Spare to assist you after this? Is there another question before we wrap up? Apologies, we scheduled for a 1 p.m. appointment. Are there any further questions? Okay, I have two announcements before we close the session. If you have a parking ticket, we will give you a paid-up ticket. Please make sure you get it from the staff outside this room. And lunch will be served on the 13th floor. You're welcome to go and have lunch with us. On that note, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for taking the time to be here and listen to us, and we also engage with you. It has been quite fruitful. We do have our CEO stakeholder engagements coming in March. As you're aware, this is the last term of our board and the CEO. So these are the last engagements with the current CEO and the current chairperson of the board. Thank you very much and have a lovely Friday afternoon. Enjoy lunch.
Colleagues, just one last announcement. Lunch is being served on level 13. So 1-3 when you go onto the lift.